Hi everyone, happy Sunday. So this video is going to be a little different. We're still going to do completed pages at the beginning like we always do. We're going to cover both May and June. But I've got other things that I'm also going to cover in this video because I know me, and if I say I'm going to do all these during the week, they're just never going to get done. So we're just going to kind of play catch up and get all this taken care of in one video. And if this works well moving forward, this might be the format I do at the end of each month. But we've got completed pages. We've got looking at my coloring bullet journal. I actually put in some effort for June, and I'll explain why, or July, excuse me. And then we're going to kick off my official hashtag that I've done. This might be the third year, maybe. Watercolor Summer 2023. I know I'm a few days late, but I figured I'm going to let it run through the end of September, so let's just start at the beginning of July, and we will cover that. And then at the very end, I'm going to give an update on Bagheera. If you watched my video, was Friday. I had to repost it yesterday. I had to make an edit on something. I mentioned that Bagheera was sick and had to go in for some testing, so we're going to talk about that at the very end. It is nothing, at least right now, I'm cautiously optimistic that it's not the worst thing in the world, at least not right now. So, so that way I'm not leaving you hanging. But, okay, so straight to complete pages first. I got plenty of time to talk at the end of the video. Alright, so I tried to split May and June. I don't know how good of a job I did. Some of these apply to both months. In May, I had some non-color by number completed pages. And this was actually for the end, for April hashtag from Spicy Cat Colors, Kathy. She had picked this picture as a buddy, like an overall buddy color, group buddy color for the month. I did it on the, like, the very first of May. So it still applied to her tag just because I got it in last minute. But, or maybe I did it on like the 30th of April, but I don't think I included it in my completed pages in April. So if I did, you get to see it again. This was just simple marker with kind of a marker outline, white gel pen. I did put some stickles on the umbrella to stimulate it being wet, like from the rain and stuff. And actually I think that looks like a pretty neat thing. I'll have to remember that for the future. And I did use some gel pen on the drops and on like the puddle and everything, and it turned out cute. I like it. It was one of those I was really just trying because I hadn't participated in a hashtag in a while. I just wanted to participate, and then I used chalk pastel. I think I used the what's it called, Jane Davenport pastel, one of the palettes for this, for the background. So turned out pretty cute. For a couple months, I had a buddy color with Poet Spice and Christina's Art Quarter. And I'd gotten this book, Mystical Cats in Secret Places. This is a very Zentangle kind of book. It feels a little overwhelming. So when Poet suggested a color, buddy color in this, I thought that was a great idea just because it would be a challenge for me. It's a new book and it's a little overwhelming. So here is my completed picture. We did the pirate cat picture, and I think I showed this at the end of my coloring book haul. If you guys got to see that, it was a sneak peek. Base of gelatos, and with water. I used, it's kind of the gelato palette, the Faber-Castell gelatos. That's like a space palette. It's got like colors like Satellite, Mars, Odyssey. A very similar color palette you'll see later on in the video. But I just really like it because it's very color. It's teals and purples and oranges. It's like colors I gravitate to anyway. So we did a base of that. Over that in pencils, I actually used quite a bit of things, quite a bit of different things. My words are having some real problems today. I used shimmer paint, the Ranger Ink Dian Revy shimmer paint on the cats. I was trying to kind of make them look like, a little bit like Scamper and Sidonia, which passed earlier this year, if you remember, like just right at a month apart. She was supposed to be white, but the white shimmer paint yellows, and I didn't know that. That is a bit of a bummer because I do enjoy using that paint. And I had to combine the black and white to get that gray color. And then the rest of it I used gel pens. I think I used a little shimmer paint on the Parrot too, but then I used Prismacolor colored pencils. Yes, I have those. I know it's hard to believe. Actually spent the time shading and then using like glitter gel pens. This one took a long time. I was having a hard time being motivated. I worked on this a little bit at a time and it came out really, really nice, and I was very pleased with it. And I was going to show everybody else's finished pictures, but I would rather ask permission before I do that now. And also, I haven't heard back, so actually, let me check my phone and see. So I didn't really want to wait to make this video because then I knew I probably wouldn't ever get back around to oh, okay, sure, I can share them. Awesome. Okay, cool. So right now on the screen, I'm going to show you Poet's and I'm going to show you Christina's. I think all three turned out great. I absolutely love them. Thanks to Poet for suggesting this. It felt like an ugly picture for a long time till the end when it came together, and it was a nice distraction. I'm glad I stuck with it and didn't abandon it. And it took a little longer than I anticipated, but like I said, it actually turned out very nice. And I just kind of wanted to show how, I mean, it's not as complicated a picture as others in here, but you can, you know, put as much detail into these as you want, and then some of them you can just use color blocks. And I think they all turned out really nice. So we're gonna, hopefully those are shown. I gotta come back in and do that. So alright, another buddy color I had that I took forever to get back to was Ren Kelly here on YouTube, Ren's Coloring Corner Craze, Ren's Coloring Craze. So I'm going to link everybody in the description as well, so you guys can go check out their channels. So Poet's got a channel, Christina, and now Ren. Endless Summer, Color by Number. We do a lot of George Tufex's buddy colors together. I like them because she does them in pencil and then I do them in marker, and it's neat to see the difference. So like I said, I was a little late with this, but I did get it done in May, and it was this picture. And I used my tried and true Towtree markers, which work really well on this paper. They're nice and bright. Some of them are getting a little dry. I do have a backup pack, but like once some of those start running out, I'm gonna have to add in some other markers till I use up enough to justify buying another set. Because if I keep buying sets every time I run out of a couple markers, it's gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna have a ton of markers and then they might dry. So trying to be a little more cautious with buying stuff, but it turned out really nice, as they all do. They always turn out really, really good. So thank you, Ren, for suggesting that. Hopefully we can do another one soon and it won't take me 5 months to do it, or however long. It wasn't 5 months, but it sure felt that way. Easter ceramic tiles, color by number. I wanted to finish the Halloween one of the series, and that was the one I was going to focus on. But then we got around Easter in April and May, and I just got in a mode of coloring in this one. So this might actually be more completed now than the Halloween one. So this may be the one I'm working on. This is Easter Ceramic Tiles by Prachi Dewan Sachdeva. We have this cute little chick. I love using my brush tip markers for these. It's so soothing. And the colors are so sharp. I'm using my Wise Brand markers, which were out of stock last time I checked. I'm getting to the point I probably want to buy a new set soon, but I'll have to wait for them to come back in stock. But they just have bright colors. They're just easy to use. That was not one I completed this month, sorry. This one's one I completed in May. Oh my gosh, I can't think straight. And then we have this cute little bunny. So I think I was doing random pictures in here, and then I started working front to back now. So I still have quite a few to do, so we're nowhere near completed in this one yet. But I'll probably continue to work in this one. I'll compare this one to the Halloween one and see which I want to do. So we'll see. And I completed a book in May. Color by Colors Fantasy Women. In the top right, I'm going to put a link if you want to see the flip through of the entire completed book. But I'm just going to show you the last 2 pages. This is by Kira Shershniva. I love this picture. I thought this might be my favorite one in the book because she's got a pirate feel to her, and we all know I love pirates, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And then we have this little cherry fairy. I was trying to think. I really love this one, but again, we've got that purple and teal kind of and green color. I don't know. I think this one might be my favorite because, of course, the cats. But you can see that full flip through in the top right video thing. This is my 10th completed book overall in 5 years. Not bad, but I want to do a lot more. But my first one completed of this year. And I'm going to do a video later this month, probably showing my completed books from the past 5 years. But we'll talk about that later because I can get distracted easily. I think the rest of these are June. Finally got back to Stylish Animals by Belba Family. I'm really close to finishing this one. The rest of these are going to be color by number. I apologize. I know a lot of people don't like color by number, but it's just been such a mess around here, and it's been really hard for me to break this sudden overwhelming feel of coloring in non-color by number books. I'm hoping to kind of break that feel a little bit, but this month, but I said that last month too, and then June went hello and then disappeared. So I got 2 more done in here. I usually use water-based markers for these just because they give a real good bright pop of color. They're like brush tip water-based. I can't remember the name. It's some generic set of markers. Not Tamnit, but something similar. It looks like I actually left, what color is 5? I think I actually left that. 5 is orange red. So we're just gonna take a little bit of this Copic. Hopefully it doesn't bleed through too much. It's gonna bug me. Now you're like, that's a completely different color, but honestly the white bugged me more than that. So we have, I guess, a zebra. There's not really much white, but that's what I'm guessing. And then we have this, this parrot looks like it's gone through some things, like it's got some kind of weird feather modeling thing. going on, his hat. This is a very weird color set. It's done. That's all I will say. It looks something else. And that red eye, like, I don't know, maybe he's the villain in this story. But I am looking to finish this in July. I have 2 more. And then sometimes if there's, and you'll see that in a minute, sometimes if there's like images like this, sometimes I'll color them. So then we will hopefully have a flip through of another completed book in July. So that's exciting. Worked on one of these Circulism art books, Wildcats by Eclipse. This is kind of a shorter book. I do really enjoy working in this one. It's just, I love the different colors of the different cats. And on this side it tells you what they are. This is a Iberian lynx. He looks like he's caught in... It's like one of those weird fever dreams. You know how like in the old Charlie and Chocolate Factory when they're in the boat and it's all psychedelic crazy? I feel like that's the vibe of this whole book, is they're just caught in this psychedelic kind of, they're all in the boat with them, and there's all these weird flashes of light and all these different colors and stuff. And then this one I did while we were in Pennsylvania. This is a sand cat, which I love sand cats. Love sand cats. So these I'm using the dot markers that were recommended by Brittany. I think that was her name. Hopefully I didn't say that wrong. But I bought some Shuttle Art dot markers. I can't use them entirely because they only have like 20. Only one I could find had like 24 colors, and they're water based. So a lot of times I have to add in other markers, but I do like using them in this book. So Kawaii Pets Mosaic Color by Number art coloring book. This one is behind Stylish Animals in terms of being finished. I'm not far from it. I love, this is May and June. I love these books. I love the slick paper. The marker just glides over this paper. I love that these are very simple and easy to complete. Just using, sorry I hit the mic, just using my little set of Weisbrandt markers. This is Turtle in the Tank, and that really shiny light's not helping us, and that just made it worse. Jeez Louise. Okay, here. Can I turn it down? My desk is a mess right now. Well, it helped a little. Okay, so Turtle in the Tank. We have Spike the Iguana. Ready to Pounce. Tabby Tumble, which of course I think's adorable. Frisbee Jumper, which I believe is the front page image. Snaky Spiral. Tiny Prancer. And Fly High Baby Bird, which I really like the colors in this one. So, like I said, these are real simple with alcohol markers. Now, this is the mosaic, not the cross-stitch version, but I like this a lot. This next one is the one I was really excited about. You ask a lot of questions. I think it's great. 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I have 6 left. Yeah. So maybe August. I mean, maybe even July, but I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself the way things have went lately. Stained Glass Halloween, Color by Number by Sachin Sachdeva. Again, I'm starting to work my way back to front. I've been kind of doing random ones and started working my way back to front. I love his stained glass books, and of course I love Halloween, so this seems to be the best one for me to work on right now. And here is what looks like a very yucky concoction in the cauldron. And again, they're spiders, but these are cute little spiders, so those are pretty okay by me. Color by Number Gardens by Alexandra Franzese. I did another one in here. Finally got back to this one. This one I did, usually my comfort marker mode is a base color and then outlining in a slightly dark color, and I just like the effect it gives, and that turned out really nice for this. The sky was supposed to be pink, but I went with blue. Though with the way the clouds were, I think pink probably would have been better, so maybe from here on out I just go by what I'm being told, because the other half of this book is non-color by number. There's no numbers, so I can color that however I want. So did some gel pen work on here. Not sure, man, I can't get anything shiny to show in here today. You can see a little bit of sparkle on it. So I've been having a lot of trouble with my Arteza pens. I didn't use them for a while, the glitter pens, and now like a bunch of them just will not work. And I have tried all the things I can see on Google to try to clear them out. They're just, you can't take them apart because of the way they're designed, and there's like plenty of ink in these pens. There's no reason they should not be working. So not a fan. If anybody has any suggestions on that, or if you've been able to figure out how to get those pens flowing again, let me know. They were my go-to glitter gel pen, but apparently if you like go a little bit without using them, this starts to happen that I've seen, and I may have to switch gel pens. I think I used a new set I got in there. It's like the Tiara set from Jelly Roll, so, which have a nice shimmer, but they're not super glittery. Alright, and lastly, Cute Cats. This book is complete as of today. I'm so happy. I'm going to do a complete flip through for tomorrow. Those usually go really quick, so that might be one video I can record and post. So Saatchi & Saatchi's Cute Cats, color by number. This was just I used straight marker, a little bit of stickles here and there where I wanted some shininess. I think I did the marker outline on one of the pages, but then was just like, meh. So let me find where this starts, because okay, so I did this one. I'm pretty sure I did this one in May because it was my birthday month. And he's got some shiny little stickles. I used some glossy accents on the balloons to give them that kind of shiny effect they have, and then use a little bit of the Tiara pens on the cake. So very excited. He is very excited for his cake. Then I finished most of this up while I was on my trip. I have struggled a bit with the Magic Box markers because the way I color, the way I kind of scribble, it tends to want to leave lines, and I've been kind of fighting with that. But I think I figured out I'm just going to have to do like straight up and down, like take my time instead of just scribble, scribble, scribble if I don't want the lines. So already did that one. This was the last full page in this book I did. I should have done every page with a little bit of sparkle, now that I think about it. Like, I should have made the cheese glittery or something. That would have been fun. Already did these. So I went ahead and did the cats on the nameplate page and on the title page too. Did those this morning. Hopefully they are okay. I might put a protector there. We're going to go ahead, well, I will officially write down the finish date. So this is my 11th book overall and my second book of the year. And I'm so happy to finally have a book by Saatchi & Saatchi done. I have so many of his books because I love them, and I'm like, I've got to start finishing some of these. So I think the next one I might move to in a similar look is the Llamas one, because I really like that one. And yeah, so there are my completed pages for the past 2 months. I do have one WIP. Oh my gosh, where in this pile of mess? I do have one WIP. top right, I'll show it. Part 1 of this was a couple weeks ago. I did a color and chat. This is from Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. This is part of a buddy color with Tammy from Tammy Colors 2. We're doing these 2 pages. We picked the dragon page first, and I got half of it done. So I used a big black Posca paint pen for the background to black it out. It seemed like it was running out towards the end of the second page, which I hope was not the case because this should be lasting me a while. And then I used Artix, just Artix pencils, no watercolor base, which is very unusual for me. In this, really enjoyed it. Used a pretty light touch for me, and so we need to finish this up this month. I was hoping to do it in June, and it didn't happen. And of course, we still have this kitty picture. We also still have a buddy color and baby dragons that I had to move to July as well. I haven't had a chance to tell her, so Tammy, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, I'm behind. I'm trying my best. I'm trying. Okay. So there is the completed pages part. I'm going to cover coloring journal stuff and then kicking off the watercolor summer 2023. If you only want to see certain things, there'll be jump links in the description where the times you can click on them and go to like the chapter you want or whatever, and just see what you want to see. It's just like I said, this is so much more efficient for me than trying to make all these different videos this week. So so all this stuff that I use other than my Tombows come from a company called Hubman and Chub Girl, and I order like they'll have journal sets that I can order and like pick which month I want them to show up as. And I also ordered this bullet journal from them because it is just so adorable with this little cat. Now, I have not done well with this journal so far. I tried to start it in March, and we've mostly been just kind of limping along. I'll show you guys. That's June. That was April. I bet I didn't put anything in here for May. I had to at least, yeah, I put completed pages. Okay. Yeah, May, I didn't even bother with the calendar, but I did want to record in here. So I have my buddy colors and my completed pages. So out of the ones I showed y'all, I had 17 pages for the month of May, which was pretty good. Oh, one I didn't show y'all. Oh my goodness. Okay, give me a minute. Where's it at? Ha! Alright, so if you're still with me, you're going to see another picture I forgot to show y'all. That was a completed page in May. That's why this is important, because I really should go back and look at this. Oh my gosh, will you come here? Okay, there we go. I did do a Disney cats one. I did this one from the Aristocats. Used my new Faber-Castell big, like the big brush Pitt pens. And then used some water-based markers for this. And I actually kind of like it. So we continue to experiment in that book, as I still don't know for sure what I want to use. Sorry, I missed that one. So, so 17 for May, and I listed my buddy colors. Then June, I tried. I had my calendar. Like I said, all these cute stickers come from Hubman and Chub Girl. I'm going to put a link in the description. I did. This is what happens at the beginning of the month. Every month when I create these, I start off and then I look at it, and literally did not look at this until today, and was like, I had to go back and look at my history to get the videos, and then I lost the days I'm supposed to mark where I color. Who knows? I picked the days I knew and just didn't use this at all. I am not being very precise in how I put things, because right now the goal is just to get the stuff in the journal. I can't do that and make it look super pretty. So you're going to see a lot of this. both these had to move to July. I didn't do any hashtags. And then these were my completed pages, so I had 13. So I had 30 pages for May and June, considering how things were going. Not bad. Not bad at all. And two of those, which the George Tufexis is so detailed. It is a color by number, but I honestly count it as like a special in between that and non-color by number. So I mean, what, that was like 3 I did. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, not bad. All right, so July, this month I'm getting serious. So we are in the second 6 months of the year. So here's coloring plans, sort of. We are in the second 6 months of the year, and I said when I got back from vacation, I want to try to make some changes because my life's in kind of a holding pattern right now in regards to my job, and we're having you know, just constant chaos is happening, and I want to build some good habits because I've just been living off of like cheese sticks and kids cereal for months, barely being able to do anything except work and sleep, and I want to change that. So talking to my therapist about it. Like I said, I want to do better with these. So I'm going to also create a habit bullet journal. I have another one of these. It's the Magic Castle set. It is adorable. And so this is going to be like my habit tracker. I also have a daily planner that I need to start keeping for work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it all this month, but darn it, I'm going to try. I have all this stuff. I just need to use it every day. So July, I picked these cute little dinosaurs in this pastel pattern, which is very unlike me, but I love the brightness of it. And let me tell you, one of my favorite things from the site is the washi tape. So these are the 2 washi tapes. Now, they're month to month. Journaling sets aren't always consistent. Some months they generally have like the 30 days, the Monday through Sunday. They'll have like, you know, where you can put the month. They might have one washi tape, a thin one and a thick one. They might have no washi tape. It just depends. So they're not super consistent. That is one con. It's hard to, if I just am trying to utilize the same things every month, it can be a little tricky. But these washi tapes, I don't think you can see it, but they glitter. It's so subtle because they're pastel, but they're just so glittery and pretty, and they're so cute. I love them. So I have today listed, and we're going to try really hard to complete this for the month. I'm not setting specific goals for the month right now, but that's kind of in there. I will be in here a lot more, and you'll see why in a minute, so I think I can keep up with this a little better. Buddy colors and hashtags, the ones that I'm doing with Tammy Colors 2 have moved to this month. We're doing the Crystal Dragon and Baby Dragons, which I haven't showed y'all yet. I think we're pretty close. We have like 2 or 3 left. I'm kind of stuck on it because I kind of know what I want to do, but it wasn't one of my, that's why it's at the end. It wasn't one of my favorite pictures, so I'm still, I just need to do it. I just need to do it. And then Poet Spice suggested one from the recent book I picked up, Modern Girls and Cats. It's a Neko book, or maybe it's the other way, Neko. I don't know. This one. And I know which one I want to do, but I want to do this one, but I don't know if she wants to do a double page, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna make that decision. And maybe a friend wants to do another George Tufexis, or I could squeeze one more in maybe for the month. At this point, I'm not committing to a date of finishing anything, just because it's been impossible to do so. Alright, so hashtags. Hoping to do more this month, but the big one is this one, which we're going to talk about in more detail. This is my hashtag. I think I'm going to post this officially kicking it off on Instagram maybe tomorrow. And and we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll come back. Points. This is the big thing this month. So if you've been with me since last year, probably the first 6 months of last year, I actually kept a pretty good journal calendar going for month-to-month coloring. I had goals. I had like yearly, I had like goals, 3 to 5 goals to meet a month. I was doing pretty good. Building some habits, and I had a point system, and the point system was to help me curb coloring book purchases. And the more I get up and do the tasks that I get up and do, or I do sitting at the desk that I put off, the more tasks I do and the more habits I get into, the more coloring books I can get, because I'm earning points towards the coloring books. That worked really well last year. I don't know why I fell out of it. It was just hard to maintain. I thought I didn't need it anymore, and then, as always happens, life got crazy again and I lost all the momentum. So basically for me, points, 5 points is a 5 to 10 minute task, 10 points 10 to 30 minutes, and 15 is a 30+ minute task. And 25 points gets me a book. Now, this may seem generous right now, but that's how I always start them out. I always start them out really generous. And then if I can fill this up and keep building up more and more daily, I'm getting up and doing things that I usually don't do or put off, then I will adjust these down to like 1, 5, and 10 or something. But to start out, this is a great, and that's how it worked last year, and it worked really well. So my goal is daily to do something in here, and I only have 26 slots because you just never know, but I'm hoping I can fill this up and then have a couple extra or combined days or something. So yesterday I made the guest bed. I cleared these bookshelves in our living room that were just, the tops of them were just clutter catchers, and it took a while to put everything back. So to me, that's a pretty big thing, because I haven't been doing any sort of house type stuff in a while, just because I've been so focused on work. And then today was creating this. This was the big task I wanted to do today, and that definitely took more than 30 minutes. So you can see how this is going to go. And so I already have a book that I can get, which is cool. And I'm using any book. It can be a $10 book from Amazon. It could be a Disney book. Just, again, right now I'm just keeping it simple, and then in other months I will make it more of a challenge if I can stick with this. I would also like to get on the elliptical today. So anyway, so that's kind of the system I've come up with. I don't know if that would be helpful to anybody else, but like I said, I'm having a really hard time doing anything but working and sleeping and scrolling on my phone, and it's not helping. And while I'm in this waiting pattern, it's hard for me to fully rest and recover from the way the past 10 months have been right now. There are, as my therapist pointed out, that doesn't mean that I can't start developing some good, healthier habits in the long run, do more things to relax myself, focus on myself, ease some of this tension that seems to, my body's been as tight as a guitar string for 10 months. Just start doing some small tasks. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about starting that back up. Like I said, this is kind of like, a lot of people start on January 1st. I figured I'm going to start July 1st. I'm going to be a rogue. I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to be different than everybody else. Well, maybe not, but anyway, so, and then I already have my completed pages ready to go. And so there we go. Like I said, these stickers are really cute. You saw some of them. Let me show you. So I have little stickers I can use. I'm probably going to use some of this for my habit and my work planner, just keeping with the themes though I have a ton of other stickers, so I don't have to. Oh, that's another cute little set of, oh, they have so many of the different types of little dinos. See, I've got another month of 31 days that I can use. I've got days of the week if I need it, and I also have, if I want to set up like a weekly thing. I still don't know what I want to do with my habit journal yet. I will show you guys when I feel like, maybe at the end of the month, when I feel like I can show you like what I did in a month to see if it would be helpful to anybody. I probably could keep the points over there, but honestly, since they're coloring related, I'd rather keep them here. And then I have a daily planner I should be using for work. This was the first 6 months, and yeah, this was a waste of money, and I hate that. That just makes me so mad. So I want to do better with the second half of the year. And my husband, I'm so proud of him, by the way. January 1st, he set a weight loss goal, and he just for health reasons, like he just wanted to be in better shape, and he has worked out almost every single day in the past 6 months. I don't know many people who just have that kind of focus. Like, I know I've never been able to do that, but I don't know, maybe that's the way I should go. Start doing like 5 minutes a day every day. It's when it's 2 or 3 days a week that it loses me, because then I'm like, oh, I'll just do it X day, and it never happens. But other than being sick, like, there might have been 5 days, and there were a lot of days he probably shouldn't have, and he got lightheaded, and I yelled at him. Well, not really, I didn't yell at him, but I fussed at him. We've cut back on like pizza. We don't eat out very much, but like I'll go get something for the week, and I usually get him cheese, you know, some mozzarella sticks, and like he's not been doing that. He wanted to get to a certain weight, and then that way he could basically at a maintainable weight eat kind of what he wants, and as long as he exercises, you know, be able to maintain that within reason. And he did. He hit it last week while I was gone. No, I was back when he hit it. So I'm really proud of him, and he's motivating me, so to at least start doing some healthy habits. So not quite ready to get on the, I mean, I'm not ready to get on the elliptical or the bike 30 minutes a day and then also do weights. I'm nowhere near with the fibro and stuff. That is the last thing I should do, but I thought it was really cool. Okay, so next to last thing. I really hemmed and hawed about this, and I was like, you know, I do want to do it. Even if I just only do 2 or 3 pictures for it, everybody seems to enjoy it. I always try to do a showcase of everybody's pictures at the end of it. So this is Watercolor Summer 2023, and it will run, there we go. So it's going to run from July to September, end of September. And I'm going to put it on Instagram tomorrow too, so that you guys have it. No underscores, nothing in there, just straight up. Hopefully this tag works. I haven't even checked. Hopefully nobody's snagged it. If so, I will let y'all know. But well, hang on. My desk is so... Okay, looks like we are good to go. Every year I do that, and then I'm like, oh shoot, what if somebody else uses it for something else? But no, looks like we are good for this. So what is Watercolor Summer? It is an effort I do every year to encourage people to use water in their coloring books, which can be very daunting, very scary, particularly in like Amazon books, because the paper is rather tricky. Or in an expensive book you spend a lot of time, or you spend a lot of money on, you're worried, you know, something's going to mess up. So it's all about showing ways to protect the pages before you put water on them to make the experience better, showing different ways to use water and based mediums in different types of books, just stuff like that. I typically like to use it as a base and then add pencil on top, but I do have some examples to show y'all where I used just watercolor and it actually turned out pretty fantastic. So I kind of need to do that again. But this includes water-based markers. So if you use like Crayolas or Tombows, any water-based markers on a picture, I'm really flexible with this tag. You're using water-based mediums in the book, so I feel like it applies. Again, this is my tag, my rules, I guess. Watercolor pencils, so like when I think water-based markers, Tombows. You can also scribble these on a palette and use water to get a even more soft color on the paper. I've done that before. I miss doing that. I would like to do that again this summer. It's just been hard to find the time. It can include, of course, watercolor, like watercolor pans, watercolor paints. This is from the confections that Tammy got me for my birthday a few months ago. I really want to use these this summer. They're beautiful, like blues and greens, y'all, and like purples are my jam. And so I would like to use these during this period. Ooh, looks like one of them got a little smeary and they're all out of sorts, so I will have to put them back in order, but that's okay. I wonder if I could get like a big one and just, if I eventually would like to collect all these, put them like together, but that's probably going to be bigger than a palette I can buy. This also includes watercolor pencils. What are in here? Oh, so it also includes Inktense, because even though it's not watercolor paint, you are using water with it usually to activate it. So it includes Inktense, it includes watercolor pencils, gelatos, the gel crayons. If you're activating anything you're using that you're using with water to activate it, or it has water in the base of it, like a water-based marker, counts. And the whole picture does not have to be watercolor. So if you use watercolor as a base, which is one of the things I like to do, that works. If you just use it, nothing else in the picture, that works too. Like I said, the whole point of this tag is to just get you using water more in your books and becoming more comfortable with it. And so yeah, that's kind of it. What I'll do is show you from previous years. So last year we did a lot of, now a lot of times things I do with this tag, I don't call them tutorials per se, I call them like demos, because I'm out of practice or I haven't used them in this way before, and so I don't mind showing pictures to y'all that don't turn out great, that I learned from, that wind up looking a little weird, because like I said, this is all just about, it's not about coming up with a gorgeous drop dead picture. It's about just learning how to use these mediums, because they can be overwhelming to use in a book, scary, they can be tricky in a lot of cases. So last year we played a lot in Jungle Miniatures, and you could see, because we had 50 images in this book, using water makes the page, unless you're treating it, can make the page very wavy, and you can even see it back here where that's happened some. So just interesting, like I said, this learning experience, it's always interesting for me to see this. This picture was Inktense from the palette, and then I used a bunch of stickles and gel pens and glossy accents. This one was Inktense pencils and stickles, trying to show the difference in them. The pencils give more, not treated at all. The paper wasn't. This was just straight on the paper and activating with water, which is one of the reasons it got so wrinkled. But the Inktense pencils on wide spaces, I feel like leave a little bit of a mottled kind of look to it, which is not necessarily bad, it's just different. And again, this was in Amazon. So I use like a shimmer iridescent paint on the bird, if you can see there. And I think I used something in the watercolor back there. I think the rest I just used markers. This was my first attempt at just using watercolors from a palette. And it is very, yeah, it's there. It's colors. It's this, and it wasn't treated paper. This is treated paper. When I say treated paper, and we'll of course go over this because I have to remind myself every year, I'm talking about things like clear gesso. I love using satin glazing liquid, watercolor ground to put a base on the paper and protect it from the water. It gives you more time to play with the watercolor on the paper before it dries. And as you can see, the difference in its ability to wrinkle is greatly reduced. So this turned out great. This was just watercolor palette. And I had a lot of fun with this one. This actually, I joke about the poop brown background, but it actually works really well with the froggies. And then I did another one similar. I was trying to see how I could get the background to where I was comfortable with it just using watercolor, and I still don't like it. But this was all watercolor and gel pens. So played around a lot in Amazon books. I mentioned using Tombows. This is one I worked on last year. I like to do at least one of these a year. They're time consuming and I don't get as hyped for them, but they always turn out to be gorgeous pictures. Excuse me, not Tombows. Okay, I'm sorry. The Arteza Real Brush Pens, which are basically kind of like watercolor brush markers. I just use them straight on this page, no water added. And they actually do really well in Creative Haven. I've had multiple pictures I've used them in. This is solely where I use them, and they just turn out so well. Watercolor pencils. I did this one using the Albert Dürer watercolor pencils. I think Teresa actually featured this on her Instagram or something, which I thought was really cool. And then some gel pens as well. This was my entirely watercolor picture I did last year. After doing that practice in the Amazon books, I tackled this one, and it just turned out so good. So good. Like, I don't like how this bush turned out, but like the rest of it, I totally need to do this again. And this was treated with watercolor ground. I don't typically treat the paper if I'm using watercolor pencils because they require less water. But in my preference, if I'm using watercolor on a paper, I prefer to treat it just regardless of the paper. It just seems to give such a better result. And finally, we played a lot in Grains of Gold last year. This was Gelatos as a base. Actually, that same palette you saw earlier in my completed pages in the Mystical Cats book. This is the same palette, which I think is cool because it's used in a different way. And this is all Gelatos base with Arteza pencils on the top. And I love this. This is one of my favorite pictures of the past 5 years, for sure. I haven't done that video, have I? I really should. Yeah, I guess that goes hand in hand with the plans if you're watching this. So one of the things I meant to say in the plans section was that there are a lot of things I want to revisit from the past 5 years this month. Like, I want to do another 10 books I'd take to a deserted island, which I did the very first summer I was on YouTube. I do want to cover my favorite pages from the past 5 years. And like the 5 things I wish I knew when I started coloring. I'd love to do an updated version of that as well. So some fun videos I would like to recreate this summer. It's not going to happen. It didn't happen in June, of course, but we're going to just count the whole summer. And then this was a test. I treated this page with satin glazing liquid. I did not treat this page. And I used Neocolor 2s for the base all across, except for like the gel pen work and the things. It's like shiny when I don't want it to be, and oh my gosh, I hope it hasn't been doing that the whole time. When did that get turned on? Ugh. Anyway, auto white balance got turned on at some point. I like the Neocolor 2s on treated paper better. They blended easier. This looks a little bit more streaky. It took more effort. Hannah Carlzon's paper is kind of textured, so I feel like Neocolors and Gelatos are a little hard to get into the actual paper. But I prefer the Neocolor base and then pencil on top on non-treated paper. So if I do another one, I would do just the background in satin glazing liquid. I would use Neocolors or Gelatos. Then on the people, I wouldn't treat it at all. I just love how the pencil texture changes on the on the treated paper, and I just didn't like it as much as I liked it. It was way easier to color. I love these pictures. I love how he turned out. Like, really, really happy with that. And this is a book I need to do more in because I love this book. But like here, I tried the Gelatos just on their own, and I think here I did the Neocolor 2s on their own with some pencil. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, there is the tag for the summer. If you'd like to participate, it is very easy if you're not familiar with using tags. Just use the hashtag watercolor summer 2023 in your Instagram posts, like post the completed picture. If you're doing a video that includes a picture from it, you can tag it in the description of the video as well. If it's on if you post it on Instagram, and I try to do a search on YouTube too. What I like to try to do at the end of every month is do a showcase of everybody's pictures, where I basically scroll through Instagram mostly and just look, you know, we take a look at everybody's pictures, which everybody seems to enjoy. So we're going to do that again this year. But yeah, super simple. If you have any questions on it, feel free to leave it in the description or in the comments and I will respond. Okay, so yes, this is running long, but after today I will feel like I am caught up. So alright, now we are to the update. If you watched the video that I had to repost, but that posted on Friday, at the end I mentioned when I came back things were kind of chaotic from my trip. In a nutshell, if you didn't watch the video yesterday, Bigger had been exhibiting some weird symptoms the past few months. I was concerned, thinking it was because he is diabetic and on insulin and hyperthyroid. I'm not sure which one, but he's on thyroid meds. I thought he was either having blood sugar issues or kidney issues because he was exhibiting all the signs. Sorry, I hit the mic again. Jeez. He was exhibiting all the signs of either kidney issues or blood sugar issues. So took him in. She tested his blood sugar. It was right on point. And she ran a senior wellness panel on him, and I guess his kidneys have always been fantastic, and they continue to be. So she didn't say there was an issue anywhere else. And so she called me the Friday I was gone and said she thinks he might have something called Cushing's disease. There's where it's called a disease one way and it's called something else, but it's essentially Cushing's. And diabetic cats have a risk, and cats who take steroids long term have a risk of developing it. And basically what happens is, in classic Cushing's, something is causing the adrenal glands to pump out natural body steroids, and it's overwhelming the body. Like, it's just in a constant state of, imagine getting a steroid shot from the doctor and getting one of those like every freaking day. Like, it's just it makes you it makes him more thirsty. It causes him to lose weight. He's been restless. It's been hard for him to sleep with the steroids going. And she said it can be tricky. It's uncommon in cats, and it can be tricky to figure out because usually it goes hand in hand with uncontrolled blood sugar, like the blood sugar spike. She's like, his blood sugar's fine, which already makes it weird. I was fully prepared for that because my cats never have a typical case of anything. And I was like, okay, so he had to go in Monday and get the official, like, test for Cushing's, and she sent that off. She got that back Thursday, said the results of the tests themselves are inconclusive, so we need to do an ultrasound to really figure out what's going on. And I said, okay. So I told you guys Friday, you know, I'm really worried because Cushing's, it can be a tumor. There's a big long name for the two different kind of types of Cushing's, and one is where the pituitary gland has a tumor. It is usually benign, like 85% benign, but 15% could be malignant. Those signals are what's screwing up the adrenal gland. Or it could be the adrenal gland has a tumor. Glands, excuse me, there are two, have tumors, and those could be about a coin flip in terms of about 50-50 in terms of malignancy versus being benign. And then that tumor is what's screwing up the signals. So we took him in. They did an ultrasound of his adrenal glands. Now, y'all get to learn something today. Adrenal glands in cats are almost impossible to see unless they have a tumor on them, according to my vets. So they're like 3 millimeters. I mean, they're literally like lima bean size. They're just tiny, and it can be extremely hard to see them in a cat. And so she looked at both. She couldn't see one at all, and she did find the other one. She said it looked a little bit larger than it should be, but not enough to concern her. So she said the fact that she said had there been a tumor on them, it would have been a whole lot easier to see them. And so she's pretty convinced that he doesn't at least have a tumor, or if he does, it's just starting and we don't see it yet. She couldn't find any evidence of a tumor on his adrenal glands. The results showed that he doesn't have a huge level of cortisol in his body, which is the basic steroid we were looking at, and the one that really defines like the pituitary gland thing. So she said based on his cortisol levels only being a little higher than normal, she felt really confident he doesn't have a tumor on his pituitary gland at all, one way or another. So but she did say she still thinks he has Cushing's, a little bit of Cushing's, a little bit, because there's something going on with his adrenal glands that's causing him to put out steroids. And she said she thinks he's putting out more of the, like, there are steroids that control like your mineral levels in your body. She thinks it's putting out too much of that. It's kind of screwing with his system. She thinks that it might be putting out a lot of hormones more than he's used to. And she thinks there is something going on that's putting out the steroids, but they're not the common steroids associated with Cushing's. And they can't find any evidence of a tumor. So he has Cushing's still, she feels strongly about, but he doesn't yet qualify for like a steroid blocker. She doesn't think it's high enough yet to try that med. So we're trying a whole bit of supplements. He is on melatonin, which, funny enough, that should help with his restlessness, and they found that melatonin helps with less steroids being produced, like somehow suppresses the adrenal gland from doing that. So we've got him on melatonin. He's taking a higher dose than I did as a human when I took it. I had to double check with her, and I even looked online. Like, I trust my vet. I've known her for like 20 years. But what was I gonna say? It was like 6 milligrams twice a day. I'm like, no, that's twice as much as I used to. I used to take like 5 milligrams once a day, and I'm like, that's a lot. But anyway, so we're doing that. His pancreas looked pretty banged up. She said from all the throwing up and the stomach issues, she feels like his pancreas just looks that way because he's probably had, you know, pancreatitis through all this. So we've got him an antibiotic to try to help clear out any potential underlying infection that might be happening. He is on metronidazole to try to help with his stomach litter box issues, because that seemed to help. We tried that for a few days earlier in the week, and that seemed to improve things. And then he also takes Cerenia in the mornings. That's his anti-nausea med. He is still on his twice a day insulin and his twice a day thyroid. And when I tell y'all, it is a lot of medicine. I feel so bad for that cat. He is such a trooper. Being the skittish cat he is, he's usually really good about me giving him medicine, though he does not like liquid medicine that much. But he's a trooper about pills. But so great news is he hadn't lost any weight from being seen the previous week or two. I was worried he wasn't eating as much as he should, but his weight had stayed stable, so I was happy for that. And really and truly, this, while not the best outcome would have been he's perfectly fine, but we know he's not. This was probably the best outcome that could have come out of this, because as far as we know, there's no tumor. Now, that doesn't rule out that it's not just Cushing's, that there's something else going on, but he hasn't shown us any signs of that, so I can't, you know, say for sure. He does have a little bit of like a head bob twitch thing going on, though it's less than it was, that I'm not sure is related to steroids or if there's something again. So can't rule out other things causing issues, but she did look, while she was there, she looked at his intestines and stomach, because both my cats, other cats this year, passed away from stomach cancer, 2 different types, not even the same one. And I told her, if you find cancer in his stomach, I will probably fall out on this floor and just come unglued, because I just couldn't think. I just was not going to be able to handle another one of those this year. But guys, I really expected her to be confident. I fully expected there to be a tumor on one of them, and for it to show signs. It's definitely not benign, just because of the luck we've had. And I cannot tell you how relieved I was. I, was very emotional, and he's not out of the woods. Like I said, this is cautiously optimistic. This is a lot of medicine. We're not 100% sure it's going to work for sure or not. Like I said, we're not 100% sure this was his only thing. That's why we're trying, making sure he doesn't have an infection and everything else. He's going to go back in 2 weeks to be checked. So he's not out of the woods, and it's not ideal long term. Like, if his body's just continuously producing too much steroids, there's obviously something going on with his adrenal glands that we might have caught it early. It might be a different picture 3 to 6 months down the road. But I'm going to take this as a win, because I need a win. Because I need a win. So thank you so much. I mentioned this on Instagram and kind of asked for kind thoughts, and I don't try to typically ask for that kind of stuff, but it's been a really hard couple weeks. I mean, it's been really hard 10 months, but it's been a really hard couple months, just knowing there was something wrong with him. And of course, Leroy's been doing better since he got back home. The last few days he's been quieter than usual, so I don't know if, because he got a short-term steroid shot. I don't know if maybe he was having some inflammation. Again, he might have had pancreatitis. They've went through a lot of stress in the last few months where I've been gone 2 weeks and there's been so much stress. They can sense it from me. They can sense it from Brent. There's been fireworks all this week, vet visits, which neither one of them they get pretty stressed out about. It's been a lot of stress on both of them, and I think she hit it on point when she said all this stress, just the unique stress the past few months has probably exacerbated some symptoms for both of them. And so the goal now is to create as calm an environment as I can, where they can rest. And we all need a calm environment right now. I mean, we all need a break. We all need a rest, for sure. Like, it would be great to just have a month to just exist, like all of us and me, Brent, and the cats, and like we just get up, do what we want to do, and just chill all day. I think that would help all of us heal a little bit mentally and physically and recover some. But we'll do the best with what we got. I know I've talked a lot, and this has been a pretty big, lengthy video, but like I said, some people may only want to see the completed pages. Other people may want to know the other stuff that's going on. So yeah, Bakira's taking a lot of medicine right now. It is really requiring me. I'm probably going to have to make a list and start setting some reminders, because like this morning he got his Serenia and I forgot he was supposed to also get his metronidazole at the same time. I'm trying to space it out so it's not too much medicine on his stomach. So yeah, things have not been ideal. Like I said, the trip was fun, but feels like there's such a weight on me that it felt a little muted this year. Like I just felt like I couldn't fully relax and enjoy it because of everything that's been going on. And so, like I said, I'm back, and the only things I can really control are myself at this point, and trying to make sure I find time to relax, I find time to de-stress and do the things that I enjoy, even if I have to kind of force myself to do it, and try. I've been using sleeping as a coping mechanism. Like, I go take a nap if I just get overwhelmed instead of doing other stuff, and I just need to. I've got so much coloring to do. Matt Dinniman has this book series called Dungeon Crawler Carl. If you love like lit RPGs and you have a dark sense of humor, it is not, it's a little crude. Like, it is, I don't know how to explain it. But like, if none of that stuff bugs you, it is my favorite series right now of all time. I cannot tell you, I listen to that series when I'm struggling. I listen to the audiobook. It is a comfort for me now to just listen to the books again over and over. The new book just released today. I am going to finally sit down and start playing some computer games today. I would also like to color, but that, at least today, may not be a thing. It might be something I can do Tuesday when I'm off. And like yesterday was a great day, y'all. Like, getting that news about him coming home. Of course, I still worry about him, but I'm trying really hard to stay positive for once. How's it gonna go? Who knows? May not stay that way for long, but I'm gonna try. And just spent a lot of time with the cats yesterday, just petting them, just being in like the room with them, hanging out with them. I did take a little bit of a nap early on just because I had to get up early for the vet visit, but like, I went in there and finished my Cute Cats book. I watched some RuPaul's Drag Race, which I missed a lot of seasons.
just, that's like the only reality show I like to watch. Just mostly because I feel like they're judging, like, you know how in some of those things people win and you're like, how? In that one, I almost always agree with what they do week to week. I don't know. Like, it seems like they like legitimately, it's not like a ratings thing or they're pushing people through for views or anything, at least in the seasons I'm watching. So I quite enjoy it. But yeah, just kind of relaxed, and it was nice. And like I said, I did a little bit of cleaning, so I felt productive, and it just, I don't know, yesterday was probably the most relaxing day I've had in a while. So I'd like to do more of that. And hopefully in doing more of that will mean more videos and more upbeat, fun videos. And yeah, so in terms of coloring book buying, I'm putting them on a list. No more coloring book buys unless I get the points for them. And we're going to see how long this lasts. It's the only way I know of to kind of curb my, and I have to do something to earn those books, which is fine. I think that's what I need to do because that worked real well last year. So if I want more books, I can have them. I just got to work for them. So, all right, this has been a lot of different information. Like I said, I feel like I'm mostly caught up now. Tomorrow I will do or Tuesday, we'll say tomorrow or Tuesday, I will do a flip through of the Cute Cats book. And then I'm probably still for now going to stick to like Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for videos, just because it's just proving impossible during the week to do videos right now. But I think everybody tends to want to watch stuff on the weekends anyway, and then if you miss it, you can always watch it during the week. So I don't think that's a huge thing, but maybe down the road. Maybe I could start setting up some goals again. That would be nice. But right now, let's just focus on little things. Hope maybe this motivates somebody else. I don't know. Maybe this encourages other people to kind of think about that. So I'm trying. My therapist is very helpful. I've heard, I used Talkspace because that was what work offered. I've heard a lot of people say some negative things about it, but I tell you, I think I got very lucky with the therapist I got. I like her a lot. Her name is Rachel. That's all I'm going to say. But she's really good. And now, because I'm on my insurance, and that's the one thing about this job, y'all, the insurance is the best I think I've ever had in my adult life. But now I can have hour-long sessions with her, which has been super helpful. So again, let's put out the little plug for, it's hard. It's hard right now. I want to put a plug out for finding a therapist if you need somebody non-partial to talk through. Even if it's just you're struggling with a big decision, you're struggling to get motivated to do stuff, you're just in a real dark place, you feel alone, but like you don't feel like you have a support system in your family, and you need a hype person. You need a hype friend, or you need somebody who can look at your stuff impartially and not tell you something, give you advice based on their own viewpoint or their own wants for the situation. You know how some people can frame things, you know, so that they can get what they want out of it. If you have manipulative people like that. Highly recommend finding somebody to talk to. And it's hard right now. It's very hard because I think more and more people are looking for therapists and psychiatrists and counselors, and it's a small field, and so I know it can be difficult to find somebody new. I'm not going to recommend Talkspace myself because I haven't used it enough to really be able to recommend it. I do recommend my therapist, but I don't recommend like the app as a whole. It really just comes down to the person you're talking to. If you find somebody and you don't like them, quit them and find somebody else. Don't feel like you got to go to somebody just because you think that's the best you can do. If you really don't like somebody, because that's what happened to me. I had a therapist I really liked last year. She went to back to school, and they paired me with another therapist who was the nicest lady in the world, but she was not helpful. And so after 6 months, after like 3 months, I stopped going to see her. Hadn't seen anybody since. And unfortunately, my old therapist still hasn't come back. I think she's actually in the process of becoming a nurse practitioner. So I had to find somebody else anyway. So yeah. Anyway, that is my, trust me, it really helps. I've had to go to them on and off over the years. I've never been able to really get through everything just because circumstances have always required that I stop therapy or, you know, can't find somebody else at the moment. But I don't think I could have survived. I definitely wouldn't be the person I am without them. So that's my plug for that. Okay, I've talked enough. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.